Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the COG finale post-analysis. This should be a long one, if you haven't noticed by looking at the ticker in the bottom right. Um, so, no, it's definitely scene 7. I lied. Okay, here we go. There's Cordy, who was kind enough to provide me with this footage. I do, in fact, use his Twitch. So this is M&S versus PAFA, so Pastafarians, versus Merry Northern Storm. Although this was very much a Northern Air Fleet game, as you can see by the ships. I didn't look at their roster, but I don't think there were a lot of Merrymen on their ship. Okay, so we got a Metamidian from the Hammerfall, and we got a Lumberjack Flamers from the NAFS. Die Vulke, the Valkyrie, and Guy Ledouche. Okay, so whichever one's the Junker, which is the Valkyrie, is running mortar, gat, and gat. I think the Pyramidian is probably just a Metamidian. I'm gonna try and find it. I think they initiated before they got a chance to look. Okay, so let's just analyze this fight. Even though I think QWERTY is zoomed in on one of the ships during the beginning of it. So I can't talk much about how they initiated. Ended up happening in the bottom left there, or in the bottom right. Okay. So the guy Ledouche, getting in there. Popping tar, trying to get the hammer fall. It ends up tarring his friend. This was a pretty unsteady initiate. We're seeing Gatling fire shooting at the Messerschmitt, so I think the Valkyrie is trying to get a trifecta off on him. The first couple kills I keep trying to focus the Messerschmitt, but that doesn't really end up working because the Goldfish is so much tankier than the Pyramidian, and it is really durable if you have a good enough crew. The one thing about it is you have one gunner on the front gun, and then the other two guns are usually unoccupied. Sometimes there's an engineer on it, but most of the time the Goldfish has a full 2-engineer complement to it. So Ledouche finally turning around after that rabid charging, and then Hammerfall ends up putting him down here. Messerschmitt just books it into the canyon, trying to put some range in between him. He's going to use this wall here as a form of cover, which I think is a good idea. Definitely want to keep your range as large as possible. Here PAFA is like, ooh, it's a lumberfish, we should go after that. But really, I think you should be focusing down DPS ships before you even focus support ships. It's obviously very situational, but at this given point in time, the Metal Man is essentially completely cut off. They could have just both focused him down. This was a tactical error, and now they're all split up. Hammerfall finally getting caught out. The Valkyrie realizing that it is a better idea just to focus the one that they've cut off. Messerschmitt will just kind of hang out in these clouds. I think he's backing up right now, which I don't think is a good idea. I don't know. That might have been a different point in time. Popping hydrogen. No. Yeah, see, he could have just turned tail and like ran in through these canyons. But instead he was backing up, which not the greatest idea. Okay, what's happened? Again, shouldn't chase. What's gonna happen is he's probably tarring. Hammerfall manages to get the PAFA down. Okay, never mind, that was the Ledouche. He wants to try and cut him off from circling back around. But at that point, the Ledouche just runs and tries to regroup, which I think is the right decision. yeah, he cut him off from being able to follow him. Of course, they could have gone that way, but I don't think the Hammerfall was aware of that. Let's talk pilots really quickly here. Skyraider does some awesome flying in this lumberfish, and I think if he was paired with Zill, their really sporadic, unpredictable styles would complement each other, and they could do some pretty great things. But so far we haven't seen Zill fly with anyone besides Leiron, I believe. I'd love to see them experimenting with the roster like they did. But mainly why this roster, which was Metalman and Skyraider, was formed was because two teams, the Gentlemen and the Merrymen, just kind of subbed out for the finale. They none of their like full roster was there. The Gentlemen were completely switched. But yeah, I definitely want to see Skyraider flying with Zill in the future. I think that'd be awesome. Okay, so we're in a lull. Keep skipping. Okay, what do we got here? Okay. Okay, so if I was in an NFS here, they engaged like just outside of this canyon. But I think if they tried to control the engagement and like have it inside this canyon, you got some long lanes. Like I think it's straight through there. You can get shots off. So if they left the Pyramidion like right there, and then had like the lumberfish back here, could have tried to support. Of course, it would get cluttered in the canyons, but they wouldn't be expecting it, to say the least. Again, another thing they could do is they could have the lumberfish back here, and the Pyramidion somewhere in here. They could try and have the engagement in this valley, or even like anywhere here. Like this is really open space. Like between here and here, that's a shit ton of space you got. So getting the engagement out of this middle area is would have been optimal for NAFS at this point. If you had to engage in the canyons, I'd recommend you know, staying back and trying to get long lane shots. But yeah, your view can get easily obscured. So we have them coming through here and engaging. PAFA VS came from around that way. There is that hole in the rocks right here. So they're just using their terrain, trying to get multiple pincer angles. I like that. Anything you can do to obscure your opponent's vision is optimal. Divulka, I don't think is quite close enough. I could be wrong, but optimizing that mortar would have been pretty good. I think a goldfish lumberjack is a nice counter pick to the junker if you can manage to get it out of the fight. Because the balloon's so large, it's just a massive hitbox. It's one big victim. One thing you gotta pay attention to is the lumberjack does in fact do damage to your hull, not a lot, or rather, actually I think it does more to your hull than it does your armor, but it'll still manage to chip away at armor, so it's still a nice damage supplement. Again, showing how tanky the goldfish is. Galadouche, I think, is just gonna run here. He'll fill this lane up with tar and just cover his exit. Coming in a bit hot with, I think, kerosene, if I had to guess. Nice thing it does is that definitely unspots you. It's hard to keep a spot if they tar. Hammerfall, doing exactly what he did, I think, and tried kerosening in there hard. I have no idea what he's trying to do. You can go over this pipe here and through there, but that takes a while because you have to be very precise not to bounce off walls. Especially with the new physics, I'd be weary as to whether it would Velcro you. So there's always that. But he did manage to finally get his teammate back in the engagement. Although I don't think it's going to be much help at this point. He's so low health. If I was the Messerschmitt, I'd be backing up a bit. Just to try and get that extra range for your lumberjacks arming time. Take a little weight off the gunners to use a heavier ammo type that takes longer travel time. Which is another way you can help your armor time. Here the Valkyrie is focusing the Messerschmitt again. You wanna focus this guy. He's doing the majority of the damage. Hammerfall. Surprised. I don't think anyone on PAFA took drogue shoot. I know the paddling usually always takes drogue shoot in that galleon. There we go. Big hits from the Ladouche. Guy Ladouche. I think that's from MXC. I could be wrong. There was that one guy named Guy Ladouche. God, MXC was a funny show. Ugh. Spike has always provided pretty funny shows. Anyway, Messerschmitt just cranking it out of there, using the kerosene. Everybody's on engines. Hammerfall's trying to match up with him. He's trying to use this pipe to block incoming fire. I think he would have had a better chance if he just straight on fucking tried to gun it for this. Instead of playing right around the rosy. He did manage to stay alive fairly long with the two of them. Again, PAFA doing a good job isolating those kills. Starting to close the gap of that 4-1 lead that NAFS had on them, which is an amazing feat, I might add. Getting in these canyons again, I'd think retreating to that valley would be a good idea. You'd have to play it right though. You can ride either side of these, have pretty long lanes of view. I know this one gets obstructed in this area. You could have tried to fight on the sides. Again, initiating in the canyon with a lumberfish is suboptimal. So at this given point in time, PAFA has no leeway. Kills wise, if they give one up, they're fucked. All they need to get is a double kill and then they win, which easier said than done. Especially seeing as they're at the hull disadvantage. Okay, now here they kind of turtle, and this is like that Tyrannosaurus Rex scene in Jurassic Park where he's just fucking staring the guy down, but since he's not moving, he can't see him, right? Like they're sitting right beside each other. I think the Ladouche eventually dips below the clouds, but at that given point in time, this is a very bad engaging spot for NAFS, MNS. Like they hung in this general area for the majority of the game, right? Which was suboptimal. Like you just want to get the fuck out of the canyon areas. Like both these spots are wide open. If you go low altitude in this general area, you can get very long lanes, and you got this rock back here which can provide you cover if you're on that side. If I was them, I would have coin flipped for this side, try and get that side. But even if you do spawn on this side, like there is enough room there that you can make a lumberfish work. Lumberfish, you gotta keep your lanes open and try and stay far away. That's why that first engagement was really nice on Skyraider's part. Like Hammerfall was in there starting to hit him, and Messerschmitt just backed up back here. but by that point in time, the guy Leduc and the Valkyrie could have just turned on Middleman. So again, you have to be very, very careful. At this point in time, or in this game rather, Sky Raider's entire role was just to try and get one of the ships out of the fight, right? And in this canyon area, he wasn't having a very good time trying to do that. I'm gonna skip forward. Eventually, the guy, I think it's Guy Leduc, loses his patience. That is my very poor French accent. You can kind of see that might be the front gun and I might be tripping. Yeah, okay, never mind. Guy Leduc getting hit hard. These struggled flak shots. Okay, okay, so they're just kind of crawling in the clouds. This goes on for a very long time, apparently. Eventually, one of the PAFA guys will get impatient charging. Messerschmitt getting a little too close. Hammerfell turning his broadside there with the arty sniper. That's a good plan. I mean, he's keeping a low altitude so he can aim higher. Because the lower pitch for the arty was screwed. Continuing. Lambert on that Artemis. Shink on the sniper. Both exceptional gunners. Okay, here we go. Die Vulke. Oh, my German accent's horrible. And I know the U has an umlaut because I looked it up. It means the Valkyrie. Being all cool in German and shit. Focusing down the Hammerfall. The inappropriate decision. Love that one. Messerschmitt backing up. Good. At that point in time, as soon as he closed here, I'd have popped Phoenix Claw, turned my ass around, popped Kirsten, and got the fuck out of there. But no. He's, of course, coasting backwards. Kiting the living shit out of him. But again, they don't have disabling tools on that team, so I think even if you turned around, this should have been a good game. Okay, right here, this engagement, they're cut off. I think instead of running, I probably would have just used the Messerschmitt as a beat stick, try and get some rams. Because it is fairly durable. At least he's keeping his lanes open. I enjoy that. Getting tarred, all the Hammerfall's guns disabled. The full effect of tar happening. So I think that's what ended up finally managing a GG. And then they realize, oh hey, the disabler's out of the fight. They just turn on Hammerfall, and that is GG. Solid flying from Sky Raider and Metalman, although the tactical initiations and whatnot could have used some work. Just keeping lanes open. Figuring out how to use that lumberjack is difficult to say the least. Because you can tell Sky Raider doesn't want to be like a stagnant galleon, like not moving at all. He wants to be very mobile with it. He wants to try and annoy people enough so that they'll focus him, and then he wants to kite them, right? But he only got the chance to do that a couple times, and he did it very well. Metalman providing that very solid support. Yeah, overall solid flying from both of them, but PAFA was rocking out. Ofiak being a good replacement for forgot his name. Yeah, I'm not okay. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm gonna change my overlays, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Game 2. Battle on the Dunes. BFS versus Polaris. The efficient Russians managed to, I believe, 5-0 them. BFS trying that their sniper build, and it did not really happen. Relatively quick game at 13 minutes. I don't know how I feel about the spawns on Battle on the Dunes. Excuse me. They spawn facing right at each other. Is anyone else frickin' amazed that they out-sniped a galleon combination with four field mercury cannons, I believe. Yeah, dual mercs on the echelon. And they completely out-snipe BFS. This is going to be a quick game, right? Like, look, the Galleon's hurting so freaking bad. Again, I like the QWERTY's decision to, during these long sniper maps, focus, and he's got to disable chat when he spectates. He needs to go ahead and hit O. All the bullshit, like, people messaging him during the game, fuck that. Okay, so, like, look, they're getting out-sniped so bad. Hurts. Hurt to watch. I was laughing pretty hard. I'm like, well, that doesn't seem right. I don't know whether it was BFS's inability to optimize that build, or whether it was Polaris just finding a kink in the system and then finding out that Mercury cannons do in fact out-snipe Lumberjack flat combos, which I wouldn't mind, because they're definitely not gonna buff flak Lumberjack combos. Talk about solidifying snipe builds. Like, let's get real here. Okay, so they're kind of coasting, and they're coasting, and they're Ulysses getting caught out. I believe that's a galleon. Yeah, he's getting hurt bad. Out snipe, outranged. They're charging. Like, I don't know what the hell they were expecting. Like, at this point, I would have probably agreed with them, been like, all right, let's take the 2 deaths and try to work with fresh armor and hull. Ulysses pops, NSFW pops. Ulysses gets a fairly convenient spawn. NSFW getting a fairly convenient spawn. Aquarius sitting him down. Echelon just sticking up with that sniper build. I think Aquarius will just go straight for the Ulysses while the Echelon just keeps sniping. This is not a good point in time to try and be sniping with a galleon. Yeah, okay. See, that is perfectly understandable. Let's figure out where the Aquarius' next spawn is. Okay, this fucking pissed me off. I watched this, right? So the Aquarius gets boned for spawns. And then the BFS flies into tar and rams. And tries to ram. His engine's down, so he'll be turning slower. The Aquarius has free fire on him at this point. Did he pop any intoxicants to speed him up? I'm curious now. Yeah, you see both of his engines go down. Now he's popping Phoenix Claw while his 2 turning engines are dead. That is a bad idea. Okay. Horrible waste of a good opportunity here. Could have just, if they were a little bit more patient, could have just held back. Didn't need to like go full speed. Could have just held back and kept fire on them, and hope that helped. They would have still gotten tarred, but you can just fly through that, or go under it for that matter. Needless to say, that's a death that BFS should not have suffered. Map's a bit big. I'm gonna fix that really quick. Or it's just not gonna let me. You know, that's cool. Whatever. It's fine. Deal with the big map. Close range flak, lumberjacking him, not optimal at all. Lucky the NSFW there was there to strip the armor. Um, heavy flax damage, although reduced, will still punch through your hole pretty quick. If you're not paying attention, Ulysses trying to get his left side there to snipe, and NSFW. Echelon tarring. NSFW loves flying into tar, apparently. Absolutely loves it. I think he might be just underneath. You're starting to see shoot vent get more popular because hydrogen's been damn near obsolete. It takes so much. Like if you just tap it and then let go, like you quickly switch. It tends to help. But yeah, NSFW getting caught way out there, way too far away from his galleon to even assist. Usually, if you see the paddling with their sniping build, right? Usually when you see them engage, like if Smollett engages using his close range weapons, you'll see Smollett engage with his close range weapons, which are usually two hwachas, sometimes dual hwacha is or sometimes carronade hwacha I've seen, because carronade likes to strip armor once you get in the occasionally effective range. Ayo, sick plugs. Okay, so I'm gonna switch my overlays and I'll see you back with the next game. Okay, welcome back. This is Gents versus Brood. Got the Admiral Quackbar and Jace being a douche, making his name Quack in chat. Which does roll off the tongue nice, but he's just trying to troll QWERTY at that point. White Boy's Ash. Plugging QWERTY in the chat. Metamidians all around. It's gonna be a brawly game. I don't think any of us were doubting that if Gents are rolling their off roster. I don't know if they stopped favoring the sniping build or what. Just decided to go Metamidians. Gravitation here got caught out hard, but he is making a great effort to get away here, managing to tar I think both of them. One of his engines or two of his engines are bad. Big mistake focusing Sammy BT in the Admiral Quackbar. That's probably the worst thing you can do. So at that point, you're punching the most durable person in the game with an exceptional crew. Then you have one of the most aggressive players in the game right up your ass while you're focusing him. It was very hard to optimize. Sammy BT doing great with this tar. Twin Blades in the thick of it, I believe. Quack chat trying to punish him. Quackbar getting his guns back on there. Look at it. Like, you can't kill him. It doesn't make sense. Unless you're the paddling in the championship game. In Brood's defense, Brood is like paddling's skirmish team for practice. Gravitron gonna get cut out here. I think we can attribute Gents and M&S's losses to them playing off rosters. I mean, you didn't see any of the Gents normal peoples at all. At all. Roy, Ref, Mass X, all them. So this was a very, very sub roster. Maybe they're trying to experiment with a second team. Maybe they'll bring another one in like the paddling have in the past. Very convenient spawn for Gravitron. Catling fire. I think we all have noted how arbitrary Gatling fire can get. Sammy BT trying to separate them, very awesome play. Love that play. Separating teams with tar, that is a very brilliant tactic. Brutus started trying to get, or have really started pioneering some really nice tactics. God, in that one game where they used the cloud cover and duel at dawn, I can't remember who they were versing. I think it was BFS. I think, maybe, yes. We're gonna go with a yes. Gravitron getting cut out. I think Twin Blade's gonna move in to help him. So then Quack and Chat comes right behind him. Or my depth perception is completely fucked, and Quack and Chat was way closer than I thought he was. Jace beats the shit out of his engines. If you've ever engineered on one of his ships, you'll know what I'm talking about. He loves abusing it with anything he can to get the extra edge and ramming and just getting close to his enemies. He needs to turn this fucking sepia filter off. Urs taught me how, and I was like, oh Jesus, you can do that, and I did it immediately. It gets a little less steampunky, but that doesn't matter, I don't think. I play with my field of view maxed. Urs doesn't like doing that because he likes his short field of vision. But after that tangent, we got Gravitron getting way cut out. Brilliant idea, going under this arc, because you can clog it really easily with tar, and that's a brilliant tactical play. I'm really loving the zoning with tar, as it were. Twin Blade getting a little too close. His curiosity killed the cat. I just stayed back, tried to regroup with Gravitron, as he's trying to, instead of vulnerabilizing is the word that is coming to my head, and I know in fact that is not a word. A nice focus from the gents. Focusing down the right person and not the person who is invulnerable. Twin Blades trying her eyes, trying to get out of those 5 shots, but he can't do it. And there's GG. Decent game, but again, playing with a different roster. I think the only 2 players here I recognize are Matissimo and Wazulu. Jilly-Kun and Rex Hamilton. Those are all I remember. And the other guys are just bizarre. I remember talking to Massex, and he was a bit miffed because apparently he skipped on a grad party to play in these, and then he wasn't even played. He was like, God damn it. Anyway, gonna fix my overlays. Be right back. Okay, here we go. Welcome back. This is PAFA versus Paddling. PAFA put the only I'm not going to go through all of this because as soon as it hits about quarter way through, everything after that is just major miscommunication on PAFA's part. And they ended up going in very staggered and just getting murdered by the Paddling. But in their defense, they did manage to get the first kill on Paddling in so many games, I'd say. Not entirely sure what the correct number is. They got a very, very convenient tactic here. Well, it's not convenient, but you know, they didn't really see this one coming. They thought, I know, as soon as they saw the Giledush, I believe that's the ship's name, coming around that corner. Yeah, the old noodle had time to just come in right there with it. I love this. Oh my god, watch Squash die, because this is the only time it's gonna happen in like 8 years. Oh my god. Oh my god, Squash died once. Beautiful plays. Okay, so that's the only nice pastafarian play in this entire game. Like, they did manage to set up really nice, and I didn't change a fucking map. Okay, you know what? Give me a minute. Okay, got my overlay back. Eventually, the paddling ended up hanging around back here. Then there's a cloud cover in this general area, right? In that general vicinity, and one of the PAFA guys came up on this side, right? And I think they found one of the vulnerabilities of this build is trying to pincer them. So you'll see the old noodle go into this cloud, and I don't know if it's this time around, but you can see the paddling. They'll come hang around down here, and then they'll pincer. But what ends up happening is a tactical miscommunication of epic proportions, and they end up initiating at different times, and it ends up getting pretty sloppy. Like you'll see one go in. Tactical retreat, trying to get repositioned. I remember in chat when I was watching this game, some guy was just screaming in the chat. He was just like, "Why are they going after the paddling? Just retreat to the canyons and make the paddling come to you. You have the score advantage, blah, 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 blah," right? I'm like, you'll be waiting forever and the paddling will just take a loss. But that could have been a very viable. They could have waited this out, and this could have been like an hour-long video. But that's not PAFA style. They like being aggressive, you know. Like, look at this. Miscommunication. Just start playing Communication Breakdown by Led Zeppelin in the background, and I think you about sum up this game past this point. Got the old noodle. Taking a beating. I think you just escaped that fight. Don't bother checking your Skype, that was mine. Yeah, again, just sitting, chilling. Here's the pincer attack that I was talking about, but at this point, the whole noodle is so damaged. I don't think he could have made a conscientious effort to push past that. And as soon as the dish poked his head out, they were right on top of him, just laying down fire. Already running into the oil derrick. At that point, just shouldn't have gone in. I'd have been like, sacrifice yourself. Let's try and do this from full armor, from even standing. But yeah, the Ledouche is gonna feed him a kill here. I believe at the next engagement, they feed him a double. Again, they're pushing back to this position. Right in here, this is where the paddling likes to kind of hang. Because then they got their watch side covering that one hole in this area. And they got their long range side covering canyon exit. And cause they always expect people to approach kind of from this angle. And then PAFA kind of surprised them by coming around that canyon. Forgive my sloppy mouse accuracy. You get the gist. I don't know why Squash is pulling up so close here, man. They got a spot on the old noodle, so I think they know him. I was half expecting like Ledouche here could have just gone around this post and in through there and just started hammering the Lucky Ducks right on his nose, right? But Smollett would have turned on him, and then the old noodle could have came in, right? Would have been pretty nice initiate. But I don't think they knew the galleon was there. I don't think it had any spots on it, so he ended up making the worst of the two initiates. But yeah, that galleon initiate would have been so nice. Oh my god. Smollett just outmaneuvering them completely. I can't tell who popped that tar. Wasn't paying attention. Might be the Dirty Duck. Yeah, okay, it's definitely the Dirty Duck. He's literally trying to follow the Dirty Duck or the Ledouche down. Just trying to make him trail and but of course, Squash's gunners, ever the protectors of Smollett, and his very aggressive style when he wants to be. Okay, I'm gonna actually fix my overlays this time, and I'll see you next game. Game el numero 4. Laziest Spanish ever. Okay, so we got the Zwain facing the Admiral Zwain bar. Rocking the Zwain fame. I can't tell what's happening because clouds. Okay, you know what? Oh, he finally decided to move. Echelon getting focused hard. Very inconvenient. situation led to the downfall of Polaris. I would go so far as to say. I would have said Polaris could do something more. They didn't suffer that. Like, look how they're masters of tar. It's beautiful tarring. Poor. I believe it was Zitrus ended up getting hooked on one of I think it was this pillar right here, and ended up suffering a loss because it glitched. That is very shitty. It is so very, very shitty. Again, focusing the echelon, who's literally got nothing working right now, so he's out of the fight. So Ambar turning, not really keeping his guns on him, which is strange. Trying to coast around and keep his broadside on there. I believe this is around where Aquarius gets locked. Dwayne Face ends up going down. If he doesn't, I'm amazed. Okay, good. Echelon ends up going down because literally everything's dead. He's just like, get me a propulsion engine so I can like move forward and back, please. That was probably the captain working on it himself too. Tarring, he doesn't give a shit. Dwayne Face obviously gonna come into this. I mean, Sammy never dies, so it's like impossible to meet grind when you're on the brood. Echelon ends up going down. All those damage. Yeah, okay. Look, the Aquarius is stuck. Poor bastard. Steven. Okay. Ooh, I don't know if I like that flare or not, because that kind of gave away his position. You can see that they're split up, so yeah, they're gonna try and cut off one. But yeah, the Aquarius already popped a tar. Knew that was gonna happen, although I thought it would have been around there. Aquarius getting focused hard in the paint. Not much he can do in that situation. Dual flat gat. Echelon not providing much assistance, since I would still believe it's rocking Mercury cannons on one side. I don't know. If I was on this map, I'd probably take dual flat gat. Definitely want to stay away from those Merc cannons. They definitely like using that Echelon ship as a longer range support ship. But that's not something you'll get a chance to use when you're against the brood. Unless you're the paddling and you've completely and utterly mastered your long range build. But again, one of their clean up the garbage, good guy. Given a bit of an unfair advantage, I'll say. Not that there should have been anything done. It's just shitty that happened in the game. Because Polaris could exchange blows fairly evenly. Polaris getting way too caught out here. You can't kill Sammy. Very, very nice tarring. There goes the majority of his guns. Echelon with that long range support that we were talking about. I think at the end of this I'm going to go back, make sure I'm not crazy. Already would have covered the build. Shoot a flare into the tar, that's how we keep them spotted. Very, very good tactic. Again, it's hard to see the Echelon's positioning. Aquarius's balloon went down. Not sure where that's from. Oh no, that was his hull. I might have been tripping. Too much flak gat. Okay, let's make sure I'm not crazy here. What were Polaris running? Go on to the ship's quality. When I want a like long range tactical assessment, he's on their ships. And when I want to know their build, he's not on the ship. Although he didn't really have time. That's one of the hardest things in Goyo. balancing the whole announcing the ship builds, because they can switch it up until you're in game, so that's when you do it, right? So yeah, a lot of these games start fairly quickly. Dunes does that. So does Duel at Dawn. So those are hard maps. Echelon. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought it was still running Merc cannons. Okay, so I'm gonna fix my overlays, and we'll see you for the next game. Okay, so this is a PAFA Polaris game, but on a side note, quick tangent, look at this. This is Urza's Sky Tournament, which was just announced. Here we got the groups. Corvus, SA Dragoons, Valiant, Kalos. These three teams are no names, and this team was thrown together from two half ships. So if we don't see Corvus get out of this group, I'm going to be laughing. I'll just say that much. PAFA and BFS probably going to get out of this group unless these two teams have been practicing something mad. SA Dragoons, I expect them to do good things because they're the goon squad, man. Like, they got to pull something. They got to pull something. Gentleman and Polaris probably gonna come out of this group. Muse comes out of this group. Holy shit! Second coming of the apocalypse. Second coming of the apocalypse. The apocalypse is coming. You know. Hide your kids, hide your wives. Muse got out of the group. You know. If the gentleman off groups again, I'm gonna be disappointed. I don't like seeing people off group. Yeah. All right. I'll be doing analysis of all these games, provided I have the footage. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else I wanted to say? It's a standard like GSL group format, but it's kind of awkward. We got to find out what we're doing for week 3 and week 4. How we're gonna format a 6-team group. Well, we might not even do a group stage. We might seed it into a bracket, which will be weird. But yeah, very awkward number to work with. We're working out the details. Optimally, we get enough missed deadline signups that we can just make a 4th group and make it easy on ourselves. But I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. You know, SA Goons just signed up. So yeah, okay, getting back to the game here. Do you think I'm analyzing this frickin' Labyrinth game again? Holy shit, I'm not. Like, it exactly what happened to, like, I think it was Raft versus... I think it might still be on one of my sticky notes here. Yeah, it's definitely Raft versus Pastafarians, I think. Same thing that happened here, repeat it. Like, this game took forever. Like, you see one team strong, keeping on the caps, and then fall apart like midway through. How the Brood ended up getting through. Oh, sorry, did I say the Brood? Jesus, this is Polaris. Oh, gee, this Polaris. PAFA, sorry, Jesus. So, you got PAFA holding on to this point for days, right? Look, just look at this score. You know how I feel about Labyrinth. I've told you how to initiate. Like, you gotta make literally the only thing that Labyrinth comes down for me is like, if they have the point, like if they have it capped, make a consolidated effort, a 2-ship consolidated effort to try and push them off the point and get a neutralization, cap it yourself, right? Don't do the stupid meat grindy bullshit that we've seen some teams do. Got to make sure your ship build complements like a good sweep build. Dual Prim works pretty good in Labyrinth, I'd say. Sniping builds do not work on Labyrinth. What else? Like, you can see them at 516. not quite enough. If you want to go for a point block, if you have the point and they're starting to neutralize it, you can do that. That's the only time you really want to get meat grinding Labyrinth. Also, if they're about to cap it and you don't want them to cap it, feel free to meat grind then. Yeah. So they got neutralized at 516, and I think Polaris ended up, or PAFA ended up managing to recap. Oh. Once this hits, I think it's 560, it's GG, right? Because it takes 40 seconds to disengage a point. Sorry if this seemed a bit lazy. It's because this game is 17 minutes long and I didn't want to go through every single engagement. You got to have your mechanics down, your flak timings. You know, you got pins. I like pincer moves on Labyrinth. If you can attack from multiple angles, it gets really hard for them to spot you and get on top of you. So that's a good way to clear the point. You know how I feel. Feel free to watch that other video, but PAFA ends up winning this game. Without the 600 points, because why not? You're just like, alright, what is happening here? That is the, oh my god, that is the worst question mark ever. That is an abortion of a question mark right there. Holy. Okay. Fix my overlays. See you next game for the final game, I believe it is. Shoot Slicer. What do we got? PAFA vs Polaris, Brood vs Paddling. Yeah, okay, so this is the final game. Won't even bother editing this. A bunch of editing already. Oh, Brood could not have rolled a better map to try and beat the Paddling on with their hyper aggressive, very brawly style. Some weird car alarm going off in the background. That sounds very bizarre. Okay, there, it's gone. Ah, god, that was annoying. So Smollett taking the damage. You know what? I find this is a very smart tactic, actually, because like, you have the duck face that has a flat gat on it, right? And then you have the quack bar with a gat on the front. So while the quack bar is moving in to initiate, duck face. Okay. So when the Admiral Quack bar moves in to initiate before he gets his broadside on, like, you can just face his front side, right? Because then you have two gats shredding their armor, and then you're expecting the flak timings from the duck to be perfection, right? So if you get those two things, I believe this is an appropriate move, and then like you can just swarm in, and then when he gets a chance, he can get his flak on him too, right? So I find that a very smart strat. I'm gonna continue playing. This isn't a very long game; it's like 6 minutes. Ooh, big Watcher Barrage, Dirty Duck punishing again. These guys are so fucking good. Like, that should have killed the Dirty Duck. Dual gat and a flak on him probably should have killed him. But I wonder if during this engagement here, I'm gonna pay attention to the Dirty Duck's armor. Okay, so his armor's gone, right? Like, his flak timings were shit. In other words, the Brood definitely could have gotten the Dirty Duck down there if their flak timings were just a little bit better. They had the armor stripping ability, they just needed to wait. So gotta work on your flak timings. You know, takes a bit to perfect. Quack bar going down once. He's playing like Jo if you pay attention to the Dota scene. Esports. Okay, so they're both spawning up here. Let's see what happens. Can you get a shittier view, Cordy? Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so now that I know the angles that they're approaching from. Wind fucked with Quackbar. Duckface initiated too early. I wouldn't say miscommunication as much as it was like Duckface being like, okay, now let's go in, and then Sammy BT being like, oh fuck, wait, because the wind was pushing him into this pillar here. But I feel sorry for him there, getting a bit of a shit initiate. getting out of this Lucky Duck's range, but he's just going to back up and watch him. Yeah, he did. Got watched all that explosive damage. Ducks Gat stripped him. And then left his hull open to all the explosive damage from those watches. Quackbar surviving. He really likes weaving in through these ribs, so you know, if you're ever playing the Brood and you're seeking a tactical advantage, definitely try and use those ribs to your advantage. Or if you see Sammy BT and you want a tactical advantage, be expecting him to use those ribs to his advantage. It's a shame that the Ducks didn't sign up for the Sky tournament. I would have really enjoyed seeing them there. If they all signed up, literally we would have a group stage, another group stage. We might have to re-randomize the groups, but at least that would save us from the weird 6-team bracket seeding group, whatever the fuck we're doing for the finals. And by we are, I mean Urs, because he is the tournament organizer. I'm but a caster. We got the dream team together, Cordy and me. Yeah, should be a good show, well casted at the very least. Flares going up, kind of stagnant. Waiting for Duckface. Again, they're trying to. Didn't fix the map. That's, you know what? That's fine. Doing great. Oh Jesus. There we go. Okay. So, in this situation, I almost would have preferred if they went through like this way. Well, it's like in that area. I don't like how this fucking crayon thing will not let me just make a dot. So I end up doing a line because doing a circle with a roll ball is a fucking asshole. Especially this one, it's old. I need to get a new mouse. Okay, now that I'm done this tangent, they've been initiating this way, right? So, as soon as they get past this rib, the very bottom rib, they end up, this rib. Okay, as soon as they get past this, right, Dirty Duck just swarms in and takes them, while the Lucky Duck lays damage on them. I feel like if they used this other lane that I've suggested going through this space, they could have at least tried to focus the Dirty Duck down. Because look at his armor. He's already damaged, right? So if they have that dual Gat armor stripping on him, and they get their flak timings down, the Dirty Duck would have gone down like nothing. So then they could have just turned their efforts all on the Lucky Duck and tried to get him down quick. But they kept initiating around this side. And I don't like this side because it throttles you pretty hard with this scrap. Like, you don't have a lot of horizontal maneuverability when initiating, and as soon as you turn that corner, you're susceptible from fire to that other shit. Like, that is why I don't like this side. I can't imagine the amount of cursing that happened when that happened. Let me just rewind this. Okay, don't be accurate at all. Go to 440. Okay, this is getting out of hand. Alright. This is all getting edited out. Okay, so here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Sunderland, you're an asshole. Stop spamming the casters when they're casting. Seriously, I'm getting them to turn off chat. But yeah, that was the COGs finale. You know, what can I say? The finale wasn't that great. A bit of a one-sided deal here. But, you know what? Other than that, there were some pretty good games. There were some very, very good games. A bunch of teams tried out secondary rosters, which I think we will see turned into teams eventually. Should be nice. Get some extra teams in different tournaments and whatnot. COG Season 2. But yeah, Ducks, go sign up for the Sky Tournament. We'll love you long time. But yeah, stay safe. This has been my finale analysis. See you for the Sky Tournament analyses.